Let's talk about Pakistan Refinery Limited. For more than 60 years, it has been the absolute industrial heart of the nation's energy supply. But what happens when that giant, a relic born out of the Cold War, starts to face a billion-dollar crisis that could threaten its very existence? So, how in the world did we get to this point? Well, to really understand where the refinery is headed, we have to go back, way back, to a single, incredibly high-stakes decision made right in the middle of the Cold War. A decision that would define Pakistan's energy for decades to come. All right, let's wind the clock back. Picture this. It's the late 1950s. The world is basically split down the middle, and a young, newly independent Pakistan is trying to find its way in this intense geopolitical chess match between the US and the Soviet Union. So at this pivotal moment, Pakistan gets two very different offers. On one hand, the Soviet Union says, hey, we'll build you a brand new refinery. But, and this is a huge but, there was a catch. It could only process Soviet crude oil. That would tie Pakistan's entire energy future to the Eastern Bloc. On the other hand, a group of Western companies, Shell, Caltex, they came in with a different idea, a joint venture. So this wasn't just a choice about oil, it was a choice about which side of the wall you were on. As you can see, Pakistan chose the West. And once that decision was made, things moved fast. I mean, really fast. Boom, 59, the agreement is signed. A year later, in 60, Pakistan Refinery Limited is officially a company. And by 1962, it was up and running. Just like that, a strategic national asset was born, locking in Pakistan's energy future with the West. So right from the get-go, PRL was way more than just a company. Think of it as the engine designed to power a young, growing nation. So what exactly does this engine produce? We're talking about the lifeblood of any modern economy. You've got gasoline for cars, diesel for trucks and farms, and critically, the jet fuels that power everything from commercial airlines to the Pakistan Air Force. So yeah, its output is absolutely essential to national security. And the scale of this operation is just immense. Every single day, PRL cranks through about 50,000 barrels of crude oil. It's this massive, non-stop operation that's been running for decades just to keep the country moving. Now, to really get the challenge PRL is facing today, we have to talk about its technology. It's what's known as a hydro-skimming refinery. In simple terms, think of it like skimming the cream off the top of milk. It's a pretty basic design that's great at separating crude oil into different products. But, and this is the key detail, it really struggles with the heavy, sludgy stuff at the bottom of the barrel, which is furnace oil. It just can't convert that low-value gunk into more valuable, cleaner fuels. And that right there brings us to the main event. After more than 60 years of work, that original, simple design has become a major liability. The world has changed dramatically, but the refinery's core tech, it hasn't. And that's creating a huge problem for its survival. I mean, just look at this slide. It tells a really confusing story, right? How can a company with over $1 billion in revenue still manage to lose $17 million? The answer is that old-school hydro-skimming technology. It costs a ton to process all that crude oil, but a big chunk of what it produces is that cheap, low-value furnace oil that just doesn't sell for much. It really is a perfect storm of pressure. All around the world, there's a huge push for cleaner, Euro-standard fuels, which PRL just can't make. Its whole business is inefficient because it's stuck making all this furnace oil that fewer and fewer people want. Add in the fact that the equipment is over 60 years old, and you get the financial losses we just saw. Change isn't just a good idea here, it is absolutely necessary. So what do you do when your 60-year-old foundation is cracking under the pressure? You don't just patch it up, you have to rebuild it from the ground up. And that's exactly what PRL is doing, with one of the most ambitious upgrade projects in its entire history. And the price tag for this massive transformation is staggering. $1.7 billion. This is not a simple maintenance job. This is a complete technological reinvention, a massive all-in bet on the company's future. So the goals of this huge project, which they're calling Re-Up, are designed to fix every single problem we just talked about. First, they want to double their capacity. Second, they'll finally be able to produce those clean Euro V fuels that the market wants. And third, this is the real game changer. They're going to eliminate furnace oil by converting it into high-value stuff. This is how they make the leap from a simple hydro-skimming refinery to a modern, deep conversion one. And they are definitely not doing this alone. PRL is partnering with some of the biggest names in the game, global technology leaders like Honeywell UOP from the US and Accents from France. They're bringing in world-class experts to make sure this incredibly complex transformation actually works. So let's step back for a second. What's really at stake here? This is about more than just saving a company. What does this massive gamble on the future mean for Pakistan as a whole? Well, the stakes are incredibly high. This is about ensuring the country's long-term energy security. It's about producing cleaner fuel, which means cleaner air and a healthier environment for everyone. And it's about preserving a 60-year-old industrial icon by making sure it's competitive for the next 60 years. In the end, this entire $1.7 billion project is really the ultimate expression of PRL's own mission statement. They're putting their money where their mouth is, investing big in innovative technology to provide cleaner, more sustainable energy. It's an incredible story of survival and reinvention. The plan is ambitious, the investment is huge, and the need is absolutely urgent. So the final question is pretty simple. Can this industrial giant from a bygone era truly transform itself for a cleaner energy age? Its future, and a piece of Pakistan's future, depends on the answer.